Jinping and his spouse, Madam Peng Liyuan. The Constitution is a civilian institution. And President Dr. Muiz commemorates the 52nd anniversary of the Maldives National University MNU, praising its long-standing contribution to national development and urging its continued evolution as a sanctuary of academic excellence. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to PSM News in English with me, Hafiz Abdul Sattar. Now the news in detail. President Dr. Mohamed Muiz extends a formal commendations to the Maldives Police Service MPS, marking 21 years since the force's reconstitution is a civilian institution. In a message shared with his official X account, the President praised officers for their diligent and honest hard work day and night, and for serving the public with integrity and moral responsibility. Police Service Day, observed annually on 1st September, marks the civilian reconstitution of the Maldives Police Service in 2004, while the country's original policing institution traces its establishment to 29th March 1933. The modern iteration of the force was established in 2004 when the police were formally separated from the country's unified military structure. That restructuring created an independent law enforcement body under the Ministry of Home Affairs, now the Ministry of Homeland Security and Technology. In his remarks, President Muiz extended greetings not only to serving officers but also to their families, acknowledging the collective sacrifices made in pursuit of national security. His message underscored the administration's recognition of the police service as a pillar of public trust and institutional integrity. Since its civilian transition, the MPS has undergone a significant reform. The enactment of its first dedicated law in 2008 provided a foundational legal framework, while the Police Service Act of 2020 introduced a modern operational philosophy rooted in community policing. The administration of President Muiz plans to establish police presence on all inhabited islands within the current calendar year, a strategic initiative intended to strengthen public safety infrastructure and deepen community ties. President Dr. Mohamed Muiz commemorates the 52nd anniversary of the Maldives National University MNU, praising its long-standing contribution to national development and urging its continued evolution as a sanctuary of academic excellence. President Dr. Mohamed Muiz, in a message shared with his official X account, expressed hope that the university would grow day by day into an increasingly successful and high-quality academic sanctuary. The sentiment was later echoed in a statement from the President's office, which described the anniversary as a milestone for the country's leading institution of higher learning. Founded on 1st September 1973, MNU holds the distinction of being the Maldives' first university and its long-serving provider of tertiary education. Its founding mandate to create, acquire, preserve, and disseminate knowledge remains central to its mission of improving individual livelihoods and advancing the nation's cultural, social, and economic development. That mission now extends across the country. MNU serves the largest student population of any higher education institution in the country, offering more than 200 academic programs ranging from foundation-level qualifications to doctoral degrees. Its reach goes beyond the capital. In addition to its principal campuses in Male, the university operates 4 regional campuses across the atolls, reflecting a strategic commitment to broadening educational access and strengthening academic standards nationwide. President Dr. Mohammad Moiz marks a National Grandparents' Day with a tribute to the nation's senior citizens, describing their presence as a divine blessing and the foundation of love and warmth within families. His message, shared via his official X account, reflected the administration's recognition of the enduring role grandparents play in shaping both domestic life and the broader social fabric. His remarks underscored their influence in fostering intergenerational unity and emotional resilience within households. That sentiment was echoed by First Lady Sajida Mohammed, who affirmed the significance of grandmothers and grandfathers in upholding familial bonds and cultivating a society characterized by love and compassion. She offered her prayers and best wishes to grandparents nationwide, highlighting their contribution to nurturing empathy and continuity across generations. The Maldives are formally into family structures. And Xi Jinping and his spouse, Madam Peng Liyuan. The event, held at the Tianjin Meijiang Convention and Exhibition Center, was organized in honor of visiting heads of state and government, as well as leaders of international organizations and multilateral agencies participating in the Shanghai Cooperation Organization SCO Summit in Tianjin, China. President Dr. Moiz is currently undertaking an official visit to China at the invitation of President Xi Jinping to attend the SCO Forum. In his second visit to China since assuming office in November 2023, underscoring the growing partnership and deepening ties between the Maldives and China. Established in 2001, the SCO is a regional organization that promotes political, economic and security cooperation across Eurasia, providing member and partner countries with opportunities to collaborate on shared challenges and strategic priorities. A program titled Ungana Minors Serving Sentences of September. According to the Ministry of Homeland Security and Technology, 4 minors are participating in the mental health and personal development, as well as workshops on prayer and religious studies. The program is designed to instill a love for Islam in the hearts of the participants, provide them with a basic understanding and encourage them to live by its principles themselves and build self-confidence through different theoretical approaches. Another aim is to ensure that children in custody do not feel isolated from society. The program will help develop the ability of the participants to cope with life's challenges and their knowledge of laws and regulations, and encourage positive behavioral change through respect for the rule of law. The program also aims to ensure that its participants are religiously informed, self-confident, socially accepted, mentally aware, law-abiding, and free from crime when they are integrated into society. The Maldives Broadcasting Commission, Broadcom, announces a new policy for accrediting broadcasting journalists, under which a special pass will be issued following completion of the required training. Broadcom has established a register of journalists and has commenced efforts to accredit them to ensure their professionalism through knowledge and training. The Commission stated that accreditation will encourage journalists to deliver higher quality services. The objectives of the accreditation include promoting quality reporting, determining the education and experience of broadcasting journalists, compiling a register of journalists in the sector, and issuing passes to those working in the field. Registration of journalists at stations will also be a condition for obtaining a broadcasting license. Under the policy, press passes will be issued for editors, reporters, presenters, writers, columnists, photojournalists, and video journalists. The requirements for journalists applying for accreditation include at least an MQA Level 3 qualification in broadcasting communications or a related field, or possesses a minimum of 3 years experience in journalism. Additional requirements include having no criminal convictions within the past 5 years and completion of the training outlined in the policy. According to the policy, the Broadcom has the power to revoke an accreditation card if the holder is convicted of a criminal offense, violates the Code of Journalist Practice or the Code of Conduct. The policy will come into effect 6 months after publication on the Commission's website. Broadcom encourages the use of journalism passes to facilitate news gathering, coverage of rallies, and access to information. The Commission is working to create a positive environment for journalists to serve the public. Maldives Industrial Fisheries Company, MIFCO, says according to their statistics, the number of vessels going out to fish increased significantly within the start of the fishing season. MIFCO reported that 340 boats sold their catch to the company last week, an increase of 45.3% compared to the previous week. In the previous week, 234 vessels supplied fish to MIFCO. The payments dispersed to fishermen also increased during this period, with a total of $1,077,137.87 dispersed last week. This is a 59.8% increase compared to the previous week, when $673,859.50 was released to fishermen. According to MIFCO, the highest single-day disbursement was made on Tuesday, when $180,134.37 was paid out to 44 fishing vessels. The growth and development of the fishing industry are a key priority of President Dr. Mohamed Muiz. To support this vision, the Ministry of Fisheries and Ocean has launched a special training program aimed at encouraging the youth to pursue fishing as a career. 5 young people under the age of 24 who were not previously on the Fishermen's Register have been selected to participate in the 3-month program. The training program aims to provide opportunities for youth to acquire training and practical skills related to the fisheries sector. The program will provide technical information on fisheries as well as practical fishing opportunities for participants. Participants will receive hands-on training from one of the country's most experienced fishermen on skipjack tuna and pole and line fishing methods. The Maldives Industrial Fisheries Company Limited, MIFCO, begins buying fish from the port of Formula City, marking a significant step in the company's efforts to expand operations and bolster the local fishing industry. The initiative, announced by MIFCO CEO Brigadier General Retired Farhad Shahir, is part of a broader strategy to make fishing more profitable and sustainable for Maldivian fishermen. The official launch of purchasing operations in Formula occurred on 30th August with the MIFCO vessel Randi 19 purchasing fish at the harbour. The vessel, which has a capacity of 36 metric tons, has been permanently stationed in the area to provide continuous purchasing services for fishermen, marking a welcome development for the region, which is renowned for its rich fishing grounds. In addition to the new purchasing arrangement, MIFCO has started construction of a new fish processing facility in Formula. The facility is scheduled for completion by the end of the year and will allow for the production and safe packaging of fish products, which will then be supplied locally. This infrastructure development is expected to add value to the local catch and improve product availability for residents. The Formula initiative is just one part of a nationwide expansion by MIFCO. Other key developments include Felivaru Cannery repairs, which includes urgent repair and maintenance work at the Felivaru Cannery. Kudu Fisheries Complex upgrades, where plans are in motion to upgrade the Kudu Fisheries Complex by repairing harbour roads and enhancing the local production factory. Adu City exports, where MIFCO also plans to begin direct fish exports from Adu City, bypassing the need to transport catches to Huadu Atoll. Tinadu Fish Purchase Center, where a new fish purchase center is scheduled to open in Tinadu Gaftal Atoll by the end of 2026. And expanded tuna purchasing, where preparations are underway to begin purchasing yellowfin tuna from both the northern and southern regions of the country later this year. MIFCO's strategic expansion aims to overcome long-standing challenges faced by fishermen, including inadequate cold storage and processing facilities. By increasing purchasing capacity and improving infrastructure, the company seeks to enhance the profitability and sustainability of the Maldivian fishing industry. U.S. no-frills pioneer Spirit Airlines files for fresh Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection as dwindling cash and mounting losses derailed its turnaround efforts since emerging from a previous reorganization in March.
The carrier, recognizable by its bright yellow jets, has struggled to steady operations since emergency from its bankruptcy in March. The airline said flights, ticket sales, reservations and operations will continue. The company said it was working productively with its secured note holders, including with respect to potential financing that may become necessary later in the proceedings. Spirit had been attempting to rebrand as a more premium airline to keep pace with post-pandemic travel trends that have challenged the viability of the ultra-low-cost model. But Spirit's recovery was further hit by uncertainty from President Donald Trump's tariffs and budget cuts, which have cooled consumer spending and driven down domestic airfares.
European Union foreign ministers remains divided over the war in Gaza, with some urging strong economic pressure on Israel, while others signaled they would not go that far.
EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas told reporters after the meeting in Copenhagen that the member states have disagreed on how to get the Israeli government to change course. Kallas said the ministers have urged the United States to reconsider its decision to not allow Palestinian officials to take part in the UN General Assembly in New York. Denmark's Foreign Minister Lars Løkke Rasmussen said Israeli actions were undermining a two-state solution to the Middle East crisis and taking action against that would not make Hamas stronger. The two-state solution, the creation of an independent Palestinian state in the West Bank and Gaza living alongside Israel, has looked increasingly remote amid the devastation in Gaza from Israel's genocide and the expansion of Israeli illegal settlements in the occupied West Bank. The EU Foreign Policy Chief also said she had asked the EU governments to submit proposals next week for a new package of sanctions on Russia over its war in Ukraine.
United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres tells Chinese on the sidelines of a security forum
in China's northern port city of Tianjin for a meeting of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, where Russian President Vladimir Putin and leaders from Central Asia, Southeast Asia, South Asia and the Middle East will gather with Xi in a powerful show of global South solidarity.
And in this context, I think it's important to reaffirm the values that 8 years ago led to the approval of the United Nations and the approval of the Charter, and the role of the People's Republic of China.
Xi promised to offer support, saying China is willing to deepen cooperation with the United States. She also held bilateral meetings with the Egyptian Prime Minister Mustafa Modboli and the Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Manet, as well as with the Myanmar military chief Min Aung Hlaing and the Nepali Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli.
Olympic champion Sifan Hassan and Ethiopian Haile Mariam Kiros runs course record times to win the titles at the Sydney Marathon as the race entered a new era as a part of the World Marathon Majors series.
Dutch woman Hassan crossed the line at the city's Opera House in 2 hours, 18 minutes and 22 seconds, well clear of former world record holder Bridget Kosgei of Kenya with last year's champion Workanesh Edesa third. In the men's race, Kiros broke clear of the leading pack with Adisu Gobena at about the 30-kilometer mark and outsprinted his compatriot to win in 2 hours, 6 minutes and 6 seconds. Gobena was second, while Tebelo Ramakongona of Lesotho was third. Sydney put on its best face with bright sunshine and cool temperatures as the race joined New York, London, Boston, Chicago, Tokyo and Berlin on the elite major circuit.
The Committee for the Development of Flora and Fauna of the Gulf of Fonseca says the Honduran fishing village of Sedeno is being erased by the sea with more than 120 meters of coastline lost to erosion since 2005.
The committee says high tides and intensified storms linked to climate change have destroyed at least 50 homes, a school, and key infrastructure, leaving residents without options as the ocean advances. Local fishermen, who make up the majority of the community, say rough seas and erosion have made it impossible to work or attract tourists, the main source of income for the village. Hector Galindo, a fisherman, told Reuters that a single wave destroyed his storage 3 months ago, and now there is no land left for relocation. Roger Reyes, the director of Codefa Golf, says the situation is worrying as some 17,000 families are affected by climate change. Sedeno's plight underscores the growing threat of climate change to coastal communities in Central America, where rising seas and extreme weather are displacing populations and destroying traditional ways of life.
And that's all we have for this hour. Thank you for watching. Wish you all a very pleasant time ahead.